The opinions, beliefs, and perspectives of Aisha Selena or any guest on Silence the Podcast do not reflect the opinions, beliefs, and perspectives of Yale University, Yale College, or other entities related to Yale, Yale staff, or Yale administration. The purpose of Silence the Podcast is to inspire people that look like me to apply to Yale, not to defame, bash, slander, or attack anyone mentioned on the episode, including but not limited to Yale University, Yale College, other entities related to Yale, Yale staff, or Yale administration. Silence is complacency.
Welcome to Silence the Podcast with Daisha Selena.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Silence the Podcast. This is episode 4. I'm not going to ramble. I'm not going to talk your heads off. But before we do get started, we have to talk. We have to address some things. There's been a lot of chatter surrounding Silence, and I want to nip a lot of things in the butt before we even continue, because I don't even play with y'all like that, and y'all not about to ruin this experience or make Silence seem like something that it's not. If you're watching on YouTube, I apologize for the weird lighting. The sun is very strong today, and Yale has these weird square panels on the windows, so when the sun reflects in, the little squares and the lines reflect on my face. So that's what you're seeing. But I wanted to address a lot of the controversy that's been surrounding Silence from people at Yale, from people on TikTok, and just talk about overall why I chose Yale over certain schools. Let's address the controversy first. If you watch episode 1, then you know that I know my purpose and I know my calling in this life. My intentions for Silence the Podcast is not just because the person I had a podcast with deleted ours. No. My purpose and my sole intention is to get people that look like me to apply to Yale specifically, but other prestigious institutions. I've seen firsthand people that look like me, that are very qualified, very brilliant, very intelligent, not apply to Yale and other prestigious schools like Harvard or Princeton or Brown because they automatically count themselves out. They automatically think it's unattainable. They think it can never be them, and they just don't apply. And like I said before, Yale is very diverse to be an Ivy League, but there could always be more. But there can't be more if our people are counting ourselves out and discouraging our own selves from even applying because we think that it can never be us or that it can never happen to us. It can happen for you. You can get into these prestigious schools. If you know you have the GPA, if you know you have the extracurriculars, you don't even have to have the money. I'm going to get into financial aid at Yale later in this episode, but as long as you have the resume, the GPA, the credentials, apply to Yale. If you look like me, apply to Yale. So many people don't even apply because they don't even know what the experience is going to be like. They automatically think, I'm black, I'm not going to survive a day at a PWI, and that's really just not the case. And I'm trying to dismantle all of those thoughts because I truly and genuinely want more people that look like me to apply to Yale. That's my why. When I was applying to Yale, and even when I got into Yale, I did my research, or at least I was trying to. I was on Instagram, I was on TikTok, I was scrolling and trying to find people that looked like me sharing their experience. All I saw was a bunch of day in the lives. I did see one black girl doing day in the lives and stuff like that at Yale, but it wasn't like she was actually talking about her experience here. It was just showing a 30-second clips of her not even speaking, but showing the glitz and the glamour of Yale. But I didn't see anybody really get into the nitty-gritty about what goes on here. And I want to be that person because I want you that could look like me to see my TikToks or to see my Instagram or to watch my podcast and be like, damn, it's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows, but I can make it to Yale. I can make it at Yale. I can survive at Yale and I could get in. It's attainable. It's not that impossible. That's the purpose behind Silence the Podcast. Silence is not a negative space at all, but I also want to touch on previews. Anytime you go to a movie theater, what do you see the first 20 to 30 minutes when you actually sit down? Class, say with me. Previews. And what are previews? Previews are short clips of the film that they know are going to draw your attention to make you actually want to come back to the movie theater and watch the movie. They're not showing you the whole movie, or they're not showing you the context behind the clips. That's what the previews are for Silence on TikTok and Instagram. They are 10 to 15 second clips of each segment that I discuss on the episode that I think are the most interesting and are going to draw people in so that it motivates you to want to watch the episode. The previews are oftentimes missing the context behind what I'm saying, but like I said, they're not meant to be the whole episode. They're not meant to be long and drawn out. I don't even have time to do that on Instagram. It's only 1 minute and 30 seconds. It's only supposed to be a small clip to make you watch the full episode. I'm also not going to force you or try to beg you to do that. However, if you make the active decision to only watch the previews and to not watch the full episode, then you don't have really the space to talk about what was discussed on the actual full episode. You can't just watch a preview and be like, oh yeah, I saw it on TikTok, she said this and that, so that's what she feels, or that's what she meant. No, It's literally a preview for a reason, so that you click on the damn link and watch the full episode. But if you don't and you choose not to do that, that's completely up to you. But you cannot make assumptions or make false claims about what I said or didn't say on the episode. That just doesn't make any sense. And on top of the previews, I want to address this society has transformed a lot of people's brains and mindsets to be dense on purpose. So for example, I could come on here and be like, I really love oranges, they're my favorite fruit, they just taste so good. Somebody will get in the comments, or someone would make a statement that says, oranges, literally, what are you talking about? Like, strawberries exist, apples exist, blueberries exist, like oranges, like, so you're saying that none of those other fruits are good? So you're saying that none of those other fruits exist because you like oranges? And that's what a lot of people do a lot of the time. I really don't understand where we shifted as a society to think that it was okay to just be dense and act stupid on purpose. But I'm not going to take responsibility for people deliberately misunderstanding me. If you only watch the preview and you don't get the full context and you're making assumptions and claims about whatever you think I said, I'm not taking responsibility for that. That's a you problem. Or if you're watching an episode and I blatantly give an opinion and you take my opinion as me saying that it's fact, or you take my opinion as saying, well, since you said this and you must not believe this and that, that is a you problem. That does not fall on me. That is not my responsibility to get on here and clear up what I say every single week. I'm just simply not doing that. I watch my own episodes about 7 times, I'm not even BSing you, before I put it out to make sure that, you know, I express myself clearly, or I didn't say anything that could be too controversial or too offensive or anything like that. Not to say that that's what has happened in the past, because I'm not even that type of person. I feel like I generally have good takes and I generally have things that people agree with. But trust and believe, whatever I put out, I wanted to put out. It's not like I'm just recording and I'm editing and I'm putting it up the next day carelessly and mindlessly and not even thinking about what I'm saying and how it can make other people feel or how other people could take it. Absolutely not. I take pride in whatever my name is attached to, that being this podcast. And trust me when I say, if you're seeing it, that means I wanted you to see it. I don't know where this notion came from that I hate Yale and I hate my experience here, but that's literally not the case. Maybe you guys are getting that from, once again, a preview, me saying that in the beginning I was struggling to make friends and stuff like that. But I can assure you, I don't hate Yale at all. First of all, hate is a very strong word, 1. And 2, I literally love it here. I've been loving my experience here. Yes, some things I have not loved, like trying to make friends. You guys know from episode 3 about the shitty friendships that I've had, but in no way, shape, or form do I hate Yale. I'm not ungrateful. Like, I literally wake up every day like, bro, I go to Yale. And I'm in awe of my own life because of how much I thought this was unattainable and impossible 7 months to a year ago. So I don't hate Yale. I actually love it here, and I'm going to get into a little bit of like why I like it and why I chose Yale over other schools later in this episode. But please don't mistake me as this person that's going to have this podcast to like expose all of Yale's dirty laundry. I just hate it here so much. Absolutely not. So I'm not going to sit up here and lie to you about what I experience or what I go through in hopes to persuade you to apply to Yale or to choose Yale. That directly goes against my integrity and my morals and my values. I'm not going to sit up here and be a liar. I'm going to tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly, exactly what the description says on YouTube and Spotify. I would be stupid to get out here and tell you that the experience is 100% positive all the time, and then when you apply or when you get in and then when you end up coming to Yale and you see that it's not like that, y'all going to be knocking on my dorm, finding me, cursing my ass out, talking about, oh, you said it was this and that, and it's not like this and it's not like that, and I actually don't like it here. That wouldn't be fair to you guys or Yale, because you're going to come, you're going to be miserable, and then you're going to want to leave, and then Yale's going to see all these students transferring out, and then when they ask why, y'all going to throw me under the bus talking about some, well, this girl said that it was going to be like this and it wasn't like that at all. No, I'm going to tell you, and I have been telling you the truth and nothing but the truth from my perspective and from what I've been seeing and what I've been experiencing, what I've been hearing. And if you listen and if you watch and you think, well, hell yeah, like I really think I could, you know, go to the school. I think I could get in. I think I could be able to handle the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's who I'm doing this for. I want people like you to apply. But if you also watch and you're like, nah, I wouldn't be able to handle this, or this would be too much for me, or I don't think I would like this, then don't apply. But I just want you to know that if you look like me, it is possible for you to get here. That's my sole purpose of doing this. Period. Now, I want to also address this little tidbit. I'm filming this before episode 3 even comes out, but based on like what I've been seeing and the fake pages and certain things that people have been telling me and who has been watching and who has been, stalking my accounts, I have a feeling that this is going to be a thing, and I'm just going to address it now. Some people might take issue with my decision to come on here and give you guys like mini story times about my fallouts with my past friends that I had at Yale, and you're valid in feeling that way. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. If you feel like I should have kept that to myself, then you're entitled to that. If you feel like I'm a bad friend or I was a bad friend because I came on here and I told y'all what happened and that stuff should stay off the media, you are entitled to that opinion. However, you guys are listening and you're hearing things that have happened in the past, so you truthfully don't even know the context and you don't know what I've been going through and what I've been experiencing with these people since then. You guys weren't there when I was on my way to class one day and I checked my email and I see that Instagram suspended Silence the Podcast Instagram account because I was reported for impersonation. Now, I'm not going to sit here and make accusations about who did what or who could have done it or who reported me, because to be truthful, a lot of people could have reported me. Like, you just never truly know. And Instagram, which is very smart, doesn't tell you who reports your stuff. I obviously am not impersonating anyone. I'm myself, and Instagram knew that, which is why they immediately put my account back up. But you guys weren't there when I saw that I was getting reported to the point where Instagram suspended my account. Once again, I don't know who did it, but it doesn't take Albert Einstein to try to make, educated guesses of who it could have been. I believe that I was very calm, very composed, very professional, very nice, to be honest, in episode 3 when I explained the fallouts with those individuals and what happened. I believe that I did a damn good job, because if you know me personally, you know my mouth is crazy. Not crazy in the sense where I'm saying like all these outlandish off the wall things that would get me canceled if you guys would hear it. But once I get angry, or once I get to the point where I feel like you crossed me or you violated me or you did me dirty in any way, shape, or form, all bets be off. I really tried to hold this together, keep it together, and not be too messy. So I don't want to hear nothing about my little podcast episode compared to what I've been going through behind the scenes that you guys don't know about. Okay. Moving on to TikTok controversy, because if you guys didn't know, episode 2 about my first semester at Yale went viral, and I got a lot of comments. People were concerned about my mental health. People were concerned about Black Yale. People were concerned about a lot of things and asking me why I chose Yale. Why am I staying at Yale? I need to transfer to Howard. Or I need to transfer to Spelman. So let's get into it. Let's get into the thick of what this video is actually about. Now that we got all of the disclaimers and we addressed everything we needed to address out the way. Not to clear up anything, because I said what I said in episode 2 and I said what I said in episode 3, and I still hold the same values, and I know what I said was very clear. But for anyone that misunderstood what I was trying to say, I don't think there's an issue with any of the Black students here. I don't have any problems with any of the Black students here, aside from the ones that I told you I fell out with. Like, I don't think they're bad people. I don't think anything is wrong with them. I understand that they have their own cliques and friend groups, and nothing is wrong with that. I want everyone to have a good time, be happy, find your people, yada yada yada. That's what I want, okay? I simply said that I wish it was more cohesive. I wish it was more like a big family. That is important to me because, as we all know, Yale is a predominantly white institution, meaning that the Black people here are a minority and white people outnumber any other race, any other ethnicity on this campus. So in my personal belief and my personal opinion, I feel as though because we are in this unique circumstance, we should be like a family. We should know each other on a name-by-name basis. We should hang out as one, as a collective, as Black Yale collective. That's what I believe. Now, to be very clear, Yale has the resources to do that. Like, that's not that impossible. We literally have something called the Afro-American Cultural Center, which is literally a house, and its nickname is the house. And when I say it's a house, don't think of like a mansion that celebrities live in Beverly Hills with a bunch of bedrooms and arcades and pools and stuff like that. Like, it's not that type of house. It was built years and years and years ago, and I think the mid 1900s, I think, but there is a space for us here. Also, don't get me wrong, Black students do utilize the house. Black first years do go to the house. Anytime there's a professional development event, people are there. There's large numbers of people there. Anytime there's a study session or a lock-in, so this past week it was finals week, and the house hosted lock-in sessions where we were provided breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and people could go with their friends or go by themselves and literally just do work all day for finals. It was a safe space. Some rooms were silent rooms, some rooms were, rooms that you could talk in, and everyone just locked in. House is a resource, and the house is here, and people do utilize the house as a resource, but not for like bonding moments. if that makes sense. Like, if a speaker is coming, then people are gonna go. When the election was happening and they had watch parties, people were there. Don't mistake me for saying that the house is empty and we don't utilize the funding we have, or nobody's ever showing up. That's not what I'm saying at all, and that's not what I said in the previous episode. Once again, mistaking what I say on purpose. I'm simply saying that it would be nice if the black students, the black first year specifically, because it is more cohesive from the older kids, the older grades. I'm simply saying it would be cool, it would be so dope if the black first years got together. We was like, hey, movie night at the house on Saturday 10:30, bring some snacks, let's all chill together. Or game night Friday 9 o'clock, bring some snacks, show up in PJs, we're all gonna have a good time together. Things like that would be cool, and that's what I hope to see happen within the next few months or the next few years as we progress through this journey together. That's all I'm saying. We literally have the house, which is literally a house for us, built by us, to be a safe space for a community, and we could do a better job at building that community. That's all I'm saying. There was one comment on my TikTok that had went viral, and also shout out to all the people on TikTok. I know I'm addressing like it wasn't even hate, it was more like feedback, which I don't mind at all, because a lot of the things that people were commenting really made me sit back and think like, y'all got a point, like for real. But there was one comment that basically told me that I don't need to only seek community from the black students here. I could, talk to white people, I could talk to, different groups of students. And don't get me wrong, I haven't been only sheltering myself and only leaning on the other black people here. I've not been doing that at all. I literally had conversations with all different types of people from all different types of races and ethnicities while I've been here. I'm a black woman, so of course I'm going to prioritize getting close to the other black people at Yale. That was my first priority before getting close with anyone else and before knowing anyone else. I want to be present in my community, and I want to know the people in my community. But on top of that, the person did clock my entire tea. I'm not even gonna lie, they clocked my tea. I have went to schools where there have been less than 5 white students my entire life. I'm not used to being in spaces where I'm the minority. I've been to predominantly black and brown middle school, elementary school, high school, basically my entire life. So I'm not really skilled, I'm not really trained in how to not interact with white people, because it's not like I don't want, like, that's not what I'm trying to say at all, but I'm just not used to being around so many people that don't look like me. So it is a little harder to interact with them or to start a conversation with them or to talk to them, because I just don't know what to expect. And I also don't want to put myself in situations where, I don't know, I'm just trying to avoid racism at all costs. And I'm not saying that all white people are racist. I'm not saying that all white people are bad. I'm just saying that the more you try to put yourself in those spaces with those type of people that may not understand you or your background or your struggles or where you're coming from, the more you're bound to run into issues of discrimination, stereotyping, racism, microaggressions, and that's just something I don't want to experience. So while the person did clock my tea, and while I could do better at venturing out of the black community and trying to, see what else is out here, I personally value my sanity and my mental health and my well-being. So I think that's why I'm a little reluctant to put myself in those positions and put myself in those spaces. That's something that I could definitely, work on over time. Now, like I said, I do not hate Yale at all. I'm very grateful to be in this position, and I'm very grateful that I was even accepted into the school. I don't want that to ever be mistaken. First of all, I have like 4 or 5 different advisors, people that I can always go to and ask for help. Deans, peer liaisons, my head of college, my first year counselor. Yale literally assigns us personal librarians. Like, the resources they have here, the amount of people that we have here to support us is ridiculous. And I truthfully and honestly don't feel like other schools could go toe to toe with Yale in that aspect. I'm very grateful for all the resources and all the people that Yale have literally assigned to me to be by my side. My peer liaison at the house, which is obviously another black student, she's a sophomore, and I could go to her for anything in terms of advice, my grades, classes I want to take, anything related to being black at Yale. I have advisors for that. There are human resources here, and I'm so grateful for that, because I feel like I'm not alone. Like, if I ever have a question, if I ever need help with anything, I know there's people that I can go to. On top of that, the funding that Yale has for us, like, when I say the school is beyond wealthy, the school is beyond wealthy. The funding that they give us for summer opportunities as far as studying abroad, I studied abroad my junior year of high school in Nairobi. That was truly one of the best experiences of my life, and I really and honestly want to study abroad again. One thing that drew me to Yale was that, I guess saying that is guaranteed is the wrong phrasing, because obviously you still have to apply to like where you want to study abroad in and what you want to go there for and things of that nature, but they literally set aside money for every single student to study abroad if they really want wanted to. And that's something that I truly love about the school, because I love to travel. I love to get on a flight. I love to experience new things, go to new places. So the fact that I can do that when I'm ready is lovely to me. Even if studying abroad wasn't something that I wanted to do, hypothetically speaking, there's also opportunities where they have fellowship programs. So let's say I got this really cool internship at the Supreme Court or at some type of law firm out here, but they said that they weren't gonna pay me and that I would basically be an unpaid intern or volunteer. I could tell Yale what the organization is, what I'll be doing, how long it's gonna be, and I could apply for them to pay me while I'm doing that experience, while I'm doing that interning experience, and they would literally cover it. That's what I'm saying. Like, the amount of resources here are endless, and I know that it's up to me. Like, the ball is now in my court. I'm used to going to schools where they barely got anything to their name, and they could barely help me with the things that I see for myself in my future. That's what I'm used to. Coming to a school where that's not the case at all, and they basically have the craziest amount of money to give, and they truly do give it out to students. Like, I love it here, and I'm so excited for when I'm ready to use that study abroad, or I'm so excited for when I do get that unpaid internship, or when I do get that volunteer experience and then I apply for funding and Yale gives me the funding. Like, I'm so excited for all of that, and it's comforting to know I'll be able to do that and money won't be a prohibiting factor. Outside of like the funding, let's get into the education. I love my professors. I'm only a first year. It is only my first semester. My professors for my first year, not only are they literally experts in their field, and I'll get more into like the exact classes I took in my 2024 like recap episode. The classes I took, not only did I genuinely enjoy them, it didn't even feel like it felt like school, obviously, because of all the assignments and stuff. But when I tell y'all, I genuinely enjoyed going to these classes, and I genuinely enjoyed doing the work because of how intriguing and how interesting it was. The professors, they are so nice. They're so energetic. Like, you can tell they love their job. I'm used to going to schools where they don't give a damn about the students. They don't want to be there. They're literally miserable at work, and it's very obvious to the students. These professors, they know what they're talking about. They're experts in their field. One of my classes, we were literally reading her work. Even if it didn't like actually say her name on it, she has published and she has been a part of so many research papers that have gotten published and people actually use like in real life. Like, she's really one of them ones. And if it doesn't explicitly say her name on it, she's definitely in the credit somewhere because of how much contribution she has put in to her field. One of my other professors, she's written a book in the field that she works in, and she actually went to the country. She did the interviews. This is some cool stuff. I'm not used to this at all. In a previous episode, when I was talking about I wasn't really receptive to feedback in high school, that's why I was just getting A's and A's and A's, and I was flying through high school, and my average was like 103 or something like that. I wasn't just non-receptive to feedback because I was an asshole and I thought I knew everything. No, I am someone that takes time when I do my work. Obviously, I'm putting in a lot of time. I'm putting in a lot of effort. I'm putting in a lot of work into producing essays, assignments, everything you could think of. The amount of essays I have turned in, and my teachers have left me pieces of feedback. So, for example, let's say I wrote an essay and I get the grade back and I have a 95, and I look at the feedback and my teacher said -5 points because you forgot to mention Sally has 3 apples. In my head, I'm thinking, I know I wrote Sally has 3 apples in like 3 different locations in this essay. So I look back at the essay and I see I wrote Sally had 3 apples in the introduction and body paragraph 3 and in the conclusion. Saying all that to say, I have had so many experiences where my teachers did not give a damn about their job. They did not give a damn about me. They did not give a damn about my education, to the point where they would literally not even read the assignments that they gave to me. They would not even pay close attention to what I'm writing. They would not sit and take the time to give me meaningful feedback. Yeah, I'm gonna clock y'all tea every time. And honestly, my heart goes out to teachers. They are overworked and underpaid and all of that jazz. The fact that now you trying to make me suffer because you didn't want to spend an extra 10 minutes to actually read thoroughly through my essay and make sure I hit all the key points and take the time out to give me meaningful feedback that will actually, help me in the future. So now I have to send you an email because you took off points for something that's literally in my essay. Yeah, after a while, I stopped being receptive to feedback because it's clear that y'all just saying shit just to say shit. But these professors at Yale and the teaching fellows and the teaching assistants, they actually take the time and they actually make sure that they're giving you meaningful feedback. I've never gotten a bad piece of feedback while I've been at Yale since I've been here. And that just goes to show how much they actually care about what they're doing. And that's something that I truly appreciate, because like I just said, that has not always been my experience. Lastly, I just want to touch on this because it once again, it came up a lot in my TikTok comments. Why I chose to go to Yale. Why did not choose a HBCU? Why didn't I choose Howard, Spelman, Clark Atlanta? There's a lot of different reasons that I'm not really going to get into, but one that I really want to address is a financial aid. Now, I'm not going to put y'all too much in my business. I wanted to, and I wanted to be very open and transparent. I wanted to show y'all the numbers and all that information, but I don't know, I just feel like some weirdo out there could try to use that against me or try to, do something weird with it, and I don't got time or the energy or the patience for all that. But let me just be very clear. Yale gave me a full ride. They fully covered my tuition. Obviously, I still have to apply to FAFSA every single year, but if my parents don't magically become rich in the next 4 years, then Yale is going to continue to give me full financial aid. They are in 100% need met school, meaning they look at my parents' financial records, they look at their tax information, whatever the case may be. Both my parents' income combined made under the threshold of what they would consider to be able to pay the full tuition. I got a full ride at Yale, and on top of my full ride, listen to me carefully when I say this, they gave me more than what I needed, and I get a refund check every semester. Financially, I'm more than covered at Yale. Let's talk about these HBCUs that y'all keep throwing out there and saying, oh, our people need to stop going into white spaces and trying to be accepted, yada, yada, yada. First of all, I'm black, and I know I'm black. So me choosing to not go to a HBCU, it wasn't one of those instances. It wasn't one of those cases where, oh, she thinks she's a white girl, or, oh, she can't accept that she's black, or, oh, she wants to be white. I don't want to be white. First of all, let's get that out the way. I'm very comfortable in my blackness, and I'm very aware of my race. When you're in someone's comments, or when you're giving advice to a black student, and when you're telling them to not apply to a PWI, regardless of what PWI they got into, go to a HBCU, please take into account the shitty financial aid that HBCUs give. In terms of the experience, I probably know I would have had a way better social experience at a HBCU, because literally they're built for my people, by my people, and obviously I would be surrounded by majority people that look like me, and it would be easier to connect with them, relate to them, all of that jazz. I'm someone that does not believe in going into extreme debt for an education at all. I'm not going to send my parents into 20 years worth of student loans and hurting my credit with thousands of dollars worth of loans that I'm going to struggle to pay off until I'm in my 40s probably. I don't believe in doing that, and I never believed in doing that. So when the financial aid packages from the 20-something schools I got accepted to started rolling in, and I'm seeing that I got a 4-year full ride at John Jay, and I got a full ride at Rice University, and I got a full ride at Yale, but then I'm looking at HBCUs like Howard, like Clark Atlanta. Howard only gave me $20,000. That wasn't even the highest amount of scholarship that they give. So not only did they play in my face by not giving me the amount of merit earned money based on my resume, based on my accolades, based on my grades, because if Yale saw the potential in me, and if Yale saw my grades and my resume and my extracurriculars and they said yes, if Rice saw it, if John Jay saw it, and they all gave me full rides, and y'all looked at my application and said, we're only gonna give you $20K, and that's not even half of your tuition, y'all played in y'all own damn face. Let's do a quick Google search of how much tuition is at Howard. Baby, Howard University costs about $51,450 a year, and they gave me $20K. You do the math. That's not even half of what I would have had to pay. I would have been about $20-something thousand in debt. You're mad. You're out of your damn mind. So for all the people in my TikTok comments that were saying, oh, transfer, you need to leave Yale behind, you will be so much better at HBCU. If I was to send you an email of the cost of my tuition at Howard, were you gonna pay for it? And if the answer is no, then respectfully, do not tell me where I should have went. Okay? If you weren't going to send me a check every semester to help me pay off the $25K that I would have been in debt, and me and my mom and my father would have been in debt, don't tell me where I should have went to college. And that's the thing with a lot of these HBCUs, and not even to shut on Howard, because I applied to Virginia State University, I got no financial aid. I applied to Clark Atlanta University, I got $1,000. What the hell was $1,000 gonna do for me? The flights to Atlanta and probably moving myself out there would have been that $1,000 within itself. What was that going to do for me in terms of paying my tuition? I would have been stupid, and I would be stupid to leave behind my full ride at Yale to go somewhere where, yeah, I might have a good social experience, but I'm gonna be broke well into my career as a lawyer? I think not. So once again, if you were not going to cover my tuition, if you were not going to pay for my education to go to a HBCU, then please do not tell me where I should have went. I love Yale. As a school, Yale is phenomenal. The education I receive, the resources, all the opportunities available to me just because I go to Yale, phenomenal. As an institution, a money-making magnet, we could talk about that another day. Yale got its own issues in terms of that. I'm very grateful for my position. I'm very grateful for where I am and for the title of being a Yale student, like I said before. And I never want that to be misconstrued, or I never want that to be confused. I might critique Yale sometimes. I might mention negative things that happen here, but overall, Silence is not a negative platform. It's not a negative space. It's supposed to be an honest space. Not negative, not positive, honest. I'm not trying to step on anyone's toes. Like I said, I'm not trying to be a Yale exposer and uncover all of Yale secrets. I don't even know Yale secrets like that. 1 and 2, I truly do not give a damn. As long as they don't got black people hiding in the refrigerators, I really do not give a damn. Yes, I will call out instances of racism I experienced. Yes, I will call out the Trump truck and Trump supporters circling the block and intimidating black students. Yes, I'm going to comment on negative things that happen here, but my overall purpose behind this podcast is not to be negative. I hope I cleared up some things. I addressed a lot of stuff that, went on. Yeah, I don't plan on stopping no time soon. So anyone that thinks they can intimidate me or scare me, or any backlash, any drama, anyone that intentionally wants to misconstrue what I say, I'm not paying you any mind moving forward. This is a space for one, if you want to know what the experience is like at an Ivy League as a black person, or at Yale as a black person specifically, because there's no representation of us on the internet, and if there is just 1 or 2 people that don't speak on it or they don't address it, they do day in the lives and what I ate in a day and stuff like that. No shade to them, because I was still very informative in my choice to choose Yale. If you're anything like me, I want to know the real. I don't want you to show me the glitz and the glamour. I don't want you to show me the expensive dinners or the study abroad trips. I want to see that, don't get me wrong, but I want to see everything. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. You can follow Silence the Podcast on Instagram at SilencePod, or Silence the Podcast on Spotify, and at SilencePod on YouTube. I'll see you guys in my next episode.